Hello and welcome to Ask George as we reflect on day 3 of the first test between Pakistan and England from Multan. I'm Nick Howson. I'm joined by our chief correspondent, phoning in from Multan himself, George Dobell. George, I asked you yesterday what was the best day of day 1 and 2. Was today more or less enjoyable than days 1 and 2?
Ah, there's there's always enjoyment in it. I'm very aware that it's the best job I'll ever have. Watching cricket for a living. I mean, there were moments when it was pretty prosaic, but England did score 400 in the day. I did get to see Harry Brook score 100, and I did get to see Joe Root break a record. So there was enjoyment there. I mean, the balance of power in this game is weighted far too much towards the batter, clearly, and it might be a very, very slow burner in terms of its drama. But there was joy to be had there, I think.
Yeah, I think the word balance is doing a lot of heavy lifting there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, there is no balance at this stage, and we've probably got questions on this, haven't we? I don't know whether pitches like this are terribly helpful for the game. We might yet have an incredible ending, but I don't know if that justifies what went before. The line I trot out in these circumstances is a rock fall can be terribly dramatic, but you don't necessarily want to watch the 10,000 years of erosion that led to it. Not sure that's great TV. So I don't think in the modern day and age that pitches like this are terribly helpful for the future of Test cricket, is my
Yeah.
own view.
Okay, well, that's a
But,
good. That
but
feels like a nice, easy segue into one of the questions we got from James Shapiro, which was, "What is your view of this pitch, and is it being bad, or is it bad? Is it bad for cricket? Should the ICC intervene somehow?"
yeah, of course they should. I mean, they should intervene in lots of things. They should make sure that the final of the Champions Trophy is in Pakistan. They should ensure a better schedule, international schedule, and all sorts of things. But there's lots of things the ICC should do and don't. But yeah, I don't look. I think some people will be saying this is old fashioned test wicket. There used to be lots of wickets like this. Traditionally,
Mm.
Pakistan wickets have been like this, and we might yet see an incredible ending. And we might. England might bat on, they might bat past Pakistan, and Pakistan's fourth innings scores in recent tests are very, very low. So it's possible that England could yet put them under pressure, and what a win that would be, having conceded 550 odd in the first innings. So that's all true, but I'm not sure it makes up for the lack of balance over the first few days. That's all. And I think with attention spans as they are, people as busy as they are, I don't think it's very clever to put pitches like this, to have games like this. I think we've got to be a bit smarter if we really care about retaining Test cricket. I don't think things like this help. I've always said I think dull wickets are the biggest danger to Test cricket. I think they're a much bigger danger than match fixing. I think they're a bigger danger than well, gambling or corruption or anything like that. Dull cricket that turns people away from the game is not good. Now, I'm not saying this game has been dull because there has been interest, but I don't know that you're gonna. I don't know that you're going to entice many non-believers to the game with matches like this. Certainly over the first 3 days. But look, I'd be interested to hear other people's thoughts. So let us know.
Danny asks, "Is Sir Alex Cook? Sir Alex Cook was knighted for the services for cricket after being England's top Test run scorer, among other things, I guess as well. Will record holding Northerners Root and Henderson receive the same honour?" Now, this is what we want. We want George Dobell on the honour system. Go.
Well, I don't know if this is going to be breaking news to you, but I don't make those calls. But in terms of consistency, yeah, sure they should. I mean, Alistair Cook, I suppose, had one in Australia and in India, but so's James Anderson. And Joe Root is probably going to break every batting record there is, all but anyway. Yeah, why not? I mean, I don't think those are the things that matter most, but if Alice Cook deserves it, and I'm sure he did, then I'm sure they deserve it too. I don't think those are the things that they'll savour most at the end of their careers. But that's not, I mean, I don't want to be sniffy about it. It's nothing to do with me. Um, and it's not my world.
No, I mean I'm still reeling from the fact that you're not the one that decides this. I was just got it in my mind that you were, and this sort of thing came down. I think it's more a case of like it's a consistency question, isn't it? And there's a little bit of south north divide question going on there a little bit, I guess, as well.
I guess Sir Andrew Strauss got it. I mean, Botham was knighted, but I think Botham was knighted originally as much for his services to charity, and
Mm.
quite rightly. Um, yeah, but I mean, you couldn't really be. I'm just talking about Joe Root, but I guess the same could be said about James Anderson. You couldn't really be a better ambassador for the game than Joe Root's been, could you? So yes, do it now. Do it before they go to Australia. Annoy the Australians. That's part of the fun of it. Do you know what? They'll be annoyed whatever. Doesn't matter. What if you know that line? What are you rebelling against? What you got? That's what it'll be like. So Joe Root hasn't got 100 in Australia yet, of course. So that they'll have fun with that. But I did say yet because I still think he will. And wouldn't it be great if he did it while winning England back the Ashes in Australia? Stranger things have happened. Yeah, do it now. No issues with it. It'd be very, very nice. I can't believe anyone. I mean, people have got legit gripes with the honours system. Not that sure about it myself, but if I can't believe anyone would have any reservations or any problem with giving it to those two.
Dobell takes down the honour system. That's what we're all here for. Will Calling, speaking of Root, Will Calling asks, can we dream of Root or Brook breaking Lara's record? I assume the question references the 400 on
Oh
this
no.
pitch.
Well, I hadn't thought about it. I don't think it's as quick as pitch as that, and I don't think. Well, there's a question. I mean, there's an awfully long way to go. I think England's aim is winning, and I'm not sure Brian's was. So, in those very specific circumstances.
Mm.
So, if you look at all the highest scores in Test cricket, not very many of them have made it into victories, have they? In the same, if you look at the highest scores of the championship season, a lot of them ended up in draws. It's not really about personal milestones, is it? It's about winning. And England, because they played brilliantly today, and they are in a position where they can win. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but they can bat on. Try and get simple, isn't it? Just get a quick 700 to Clare and have a go at Pakistan. That's the aim, and they've got themselves into a position where it's actually possible. And I say again, have a look at Pakistan's last 5 scores. It's like 148, 146, 89. Can't remember the other two, but they're low. So Pakistan in the 4th innings are really struggling of late. I think they'll be nervous and they'll be under a bit of pressure. I think England's bowlers have had a rare couple of days to put their feet up, and maybe the pitch will do just a bit more. The seeds have been sown. Subscribe to The Cricketer for just £3.99 a month to read all my reports from Pakistan and award-winning journalism and analysis from the team.
Indoor Kite Society asks, with the children of Flintoff and Vaughan starting to make their way in the domestic game professionally, how many kids should the ECB be encouraging Joe Root to have? Maybe we shouldn't speculate on
In
how
what
many.
way? In what way should they encourage them?
Well,
When you say
firstly, we shouldn't speculate on how many children Joe Root currently has, albeit there are some. And yes, should the ECB be encouraging anyone to have children? I'm not necessarily sure they should. Not necessarily sure they should.
I'm fascinated by how they would encourage them. I remember years ago, was it at, it might have been London Zoo, it might have been at a zoo in Scotland. They were encouraging the pandas
Pandas, yeah.
to mate. and I think they were spraying them with each other's urine. And I was thinking, well, I mean, I know some people are into this stuff, but that is niche. You've got to have tried everything. You've got to have tried taking them out for dinner and buy them a mojito first, surely. Did that take a turn you weren't expecting, Nick?
Yeah, urine, spraying urine on each other doesn't generally come up in these.
So,
Actually,
if you think that Richard Thompson should be saying, "Hey Joe," I think it's a long shot. What a ridiculous idea! No, I love the idea that when Mrs. Root comes to town, the ECB send roses to the room or something. I don't know. I don't know what you mean by encourage, but I do love the idea that we get all our best players to, you know, so presumably he would be encouraged to, yeah, have children with what? Sophie Eccleston. Is she? I think Sophie Eccleston's going to be the best ever female cricketer England have had. And so, Joe Root, Sophie Eccleston, you'd have a great spinning, batting, legendary cricketer. I suspect they're not going down that route.
and that's how it works as
But
well.
yeah, well, it supposedly works with racehorses, but I'm not even sure they've got a very good success rate there. I don't think that's probably. Maybe this is what goes on in Bluffborough without me knowing.
Yeah, it's just a bed sit now.
I don't. You would want you would. That's what would happen, isn't it? You would get the best male and female racehorses, wouldn't you? Take them to Newmarket
You would.
and whisper sweet nothings in their ear. I don't know. I don't know how they do that really either.
Yeah, let's definitely move on. Graham Allen asks,
I
how
don't
much
know. I'm just
better?
getting into it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the worry, really. Graham Allen asks, how much better could England be if the county schedule was less 100 focused? Thinking of the whole of August focused on 4-day cricket. Let's go short and sweet on this one because we're treading a little bit of old ground.
Here we are. I mean, I think it would be madness to dedicate the whole of August to 4-day cricket. Um, I think, look, personally, my issue is windows don't work. And the problem is not so much the format. It's that the whole of August is dedicated to one format, particularly a format that they don't play at international level, or basically the whole of August. So I don't think it was an issue with today or relevant today, but yeah, I think that the 100 has forced everything else to compromise, and I don't think that's a very good thing. But I think that, and but you could make it a lot better just by going back to those sort of Friday night games rather than playing it in a block, and you're not getting the best overseas players anyway. So why not go back to doing it that way? And actually, the figures suggested that crowds liked it, that it could work at every level. I think TV audiences went down this year for both the Blast and the 100. So yeah, but I wouldn't play um, just Championship cricket either in that August. I think that would be a real waste.
We're going to sign off with Nisham Sabkota's question, which is: could England draft Sam Cook in with Ollie Stone possibly not available, maybe for at least the next test, and Seamers needing rest and rotation?
Yeah, I mean they absolutely could. I mean it would be quite a move to ignore the fella all summer on pitches that would suit him in England and then call him up for Multan. I mean, good luck, Sam. But of course they could, and you know what? He'd do fine. I mean, you got to be realistic. This pitch is flat. I mean, I think Naseem Shah's bowled absolutely fantastically. What's he got? One for 85. So yes, they could, and for what it's worth, I think they should call someone up. I think they do need reinforcements, and I think he'd be a completely reasonable choice. I don't know who else, Zaman Akhtar, or I don't know who's fit actually. You couldn't have not been training. I don't know who's a reserve or anything, but I think they are a little bit underpowered. Yeah,
I think you'd probably be
so I think that
drafting
would be a
from
good.
maybe the group of maybe the Lions that are going to South Africa, who are probably keeping themselves ticking over and maybe just and staying fit rather than the ones that are sort of packed everything away. I mean, just one on Sam Cook. Like, I think you're right that if they gave Sam Cook his England debut or his England call up for this kind of series, I think the same people who want him in the squad would then be saying, well, you can't book him up for this series. It's hopefully hopelessly unfair.
Well, I don't know, but maybe there are other players as well. Sam Curran is an option. Liam Dawson would be an option. Obviously, a different type of player, but who's got a good record, bowled well in Pakistan previously? Was he player of the match when England were last in Multan? Is Ollie Robinson. And I absolutely understand the reservations about Ollie Robinson. I have been as infuriated as anybody with Ollie Robinson, but he's bloody good at cricket, and he has done it on these surfaces. And I don't, I'm not meaning to criticise anybody. I'm really not, but he is very talented, and maybe we're doing something a bit wrong if we haven't been able to coax that talent out of him on a slightly more consistent basis. Obviously, he's got to take the bulk of responsibility for that. Of course, he does. But it feels like a bit of a waste. And that maybe this is the kick up the backside he needs, but I don't think so. I think it's more that they've moved on from him. But right now, what's best for England? Well, a fit and firing Ollie Robinson on these surfaces with his high release point and all that would be an asset, I think. The other thing is if you've got a good quick left armour, but I don't know that there's anyone screaming for attention right now.